What's popping, dreamers? It's Kurt Manaria from Dreamer Education, where we bring you math lessons for learners and tips and ideas and more for teachers. So, last week we learned that whole numbers start at 0, it increases by 1 every single time, and it continues for forever. Remember the song? Whole numbers start at 0 and continues forever. Whole numbers start at 0 and continues forever. But now we're going to take it one step further. We're going to look at the closure property in relation to whole numbers. Now, what is the closure property? We did this with natural numbers. Basically, we're going to look at if we add to whole numbers, will our answer be a whole number? If we multiply to whole numbers, will our answer be a whole number? If we subtract two whole numbers, will our answer be a whole number? And if we divide two whole numbers, will our answer be a whole number? So let's see if we add to whole numbers, if our answer is also going to be a whole number. Let's check. Let's take 2 plus 8. 2 is a whole number and 8 is a whole number, right? So 2 plus 8 gives me 10. And 10 is also a whole number. If I start counting from 0 and I increase by 1 every single time, I will end up at 10. So 10 is a whole number. So when I add two whole numbers for this example, my answer is also a whole number. Let's look at another question. Let's take 36 plus 40. If we keep counting again, we'll get to 36 and we'll get to 40. So 36 is a whole number and 40 is also a whole number. And what do we get if we add 36 plus 40? 36 plus 40 gives us 76. 36 plus 40 gives us 76. And 76 is also a whole number. So in both examples, we realize that when we add to whole numbers, our answer is also a whole number. And you can check for yourself. Take any two whole numbers on a piece of paper or calculator or on the computer, however you want to. If you add them, your answer will always be a whole number. And therefore, we say that whole numbers are closed under addition. And again, it just means that if we add two whole numbers, the answer is also a whole number. You got it. Let's start off with 7 times 3. Now 7 is a whole number. And 3 is also a whole number. And 7 times 3 is 7, 14, 21. And in this example, again, a whole number times a whole number gave us a whole number. So let's look at a different question. Let's take 12 multiplied by 12. 12 is a whole number and 12 is a whole number. And 12 times 12 gives us 144. And if we start counting from 0 and we increase by 1, we will realize that we can get to 144, and 144 is a whole number. And again, a whole number times a whole number will give us a whole number. And you can check this for yourself again. And that's why we say that whole numbers are closed under multiplication. It just means that when we take a whole number and we times it by another whole number, we're going to get a whole number. So, whole numbers are closed under addition and multiplication. Are whole numbers closed under subtraction? Let's check. Let's say we take 10 minus 7. 10 is a whole number, 7 is a whole number. 10 minus 7 gives me 3. For that example, whole numbers is closed under subtraction. But let's say we switch the numbers around and we say 7 minus 10. 7 minus 10 would give us minus 3. And minus 3 isn't a whole number, right? Minus 3 is a negative number, which is an integer. And we're still going to get to integers, but for now we know if we start at 0 and we continue counting, we are not going to get to minus 3. That tells us that whole numbers aren't closed under subtraction. And the same thing happens with division. If I say 4 divided by 2, it's going to give me 2. Both whole numbers, right? But if I switch it and I say 2 divided by 4, that's going to give us a half. And when we're counting whole numbers, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There aren't any fractions, there aren't any decimals, and a half is a fraction, and therefore we know that whole numbers aren't closed under division. And that is today's lesson, and it's very important to know, because when you're dealing with whole numbers, you know that when you're adding whole numbers, your answer has to be a whole number. When you're dealing with multiplication and you multiply whole numbers, your answer always has to be a whole number. If you get an answer that's a fraction or a decimal, then you're going to know that, hey, something isn't right here, because my answer has to be a whole number, right? So, number 1, whole numbers are closed under addition. Number 2, whole numbers are closed under multiplication. Number 3, whole numbers aren't closed under subtraction, and whole numbers aren't closed under division. And that's it. You got this. Yeah! So, what you can do for me is, you can take what we discussed today and you can check with your own examples and your own whole numbers if it's true. Okay? And check it for yourself. Don't just take what I'm saying or anybody else. You check and then you confirm. You're like, yep, that's right. Oh, that isn't right. Let's engage. Let's ask and see if this is true or if that isn't true. That's always a good thing to do. Thank you so much for joining us for this lesson. Please don't forget to hit that like and share button. Comment, let us know your thoughts. Was this valuable? Did you like it? What lessons would you like us to cover? And then hit that post notification button. And yes, have a fabulous week and stay lekker.